Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Creative Chats. Here we have not one, well, 2 or 4 guests. I guess let's call them 4 guests. We have 3 of the 4 members of Factor 50, and Phoebe. How do you say your second name? Brian? Byrne. Byrne, that's it. Okay. Phoebe Byrne and Tom Oliver, Edison Ackers, and Jack. I've forgotten your second name.
Kendall.
Nice.
This is off to a great start. But yeah, 3 out of the 4 members of Factor 50 and Phoebe Byrne. Awesome. So, what do you guys do? So let's start with Factor 50. What do you guys do?
The Factor 50 is a band. We're like
Nice.
an indie kind of rock kind of thing.
It's like
surf rock, synth.
indie punk, indie rock, indie pop.
Yeah,
Different
Sort of those.
it's sort of in that
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
I'm the lead singer,
Yeah.
and I write some of the songs. And I usually write the keyboard lines.
Yeah. He
That's
then
mostly
don't
what I
play.
do. Yeah, which
Yeah.
then I make Patrick play.
I'm the lead guitarist and the only guitarist. So I also been playing some saxophone.
I was gonna play guitar as well.
Yeah. We're now expanding, so Eddie's gonna play some guitar. So we're gonna
Oh,
have
nice.
more cool textual stuff.
Yeah, man.
And we're working on our debut album at the moment,
Yeah.
which will be
Debut
out
album, pretty awesome.
in probably like a year. I don't know. I haven't got the exact date. We're still writing all the songs and
Mm.
getting it together.
Brilliant.
together.
So, Jack,
Saxophone.
I got the thumbs.
you got the thumbs. Absolute. Are those thumbs for slapping something by any chance?
Yeah.
The bass. Fair enough.
There will be
Nice.
slapping soon.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. And Phoebe, what do you do? Because you're the only not Factor 50 member here.
But it's you're kind of part of the team now.
Yeah. There's of us. So.
I mainly focus on music photography, but
Music.
I do sport and like surfing and stuff like that. So it's a mixture of both, really.
Fair enough. Is that how you met these guys?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. You came and photoed us in a
In the studio.
Our first photo shoot.
rehearsal room, wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
some pretty funny photos.
it? Yeah. Yeah.
I remember holding you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do remember
Yeah.
seeing some of those. They were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. What an absolute squad.
It was very fun. Very fun. I might have been there.
Nah,
It's kind
it
of
wasn't your last
It's
time.
quite weird.
yeah. It's weirdly scary
You don't
Yeah.
really know what
when you've got
to
a
do.
camera pointed at you.
And like a
Yeah.
big sheet
Yeah.
of paper.
And the lights.
I feel like we
Studio
kind of
lights, like,
needed
in your
that direct.
face.
It's scary, man.
It's
Yeah.
very professional.
Yeah.
But you guys made it feel like home.
Yeah. Do you find there's a big difference between sort of working with a band in a live scenario and a studio scenario? Do you find that, I mean, it's a question for both of you, really, from both sides. Do you find that a band will want something different from photographs from a live gig or to a studio shoot, or do you think it's all kind of the same thing, or does it depend on the band, really?
I think you want a different type. You want it to be different. You want it to be more like
I would
in action when you're
Yeah.
having someone at a gig.
I would say they're two different, completely different
Yeah.
types
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
photography.
Because when we're playing live, we're
Yes.
not thinking about like, are we gonna look good in the photos?
Yeah.
We're just playing.
We just
stuff like-
naturally look good.
When it's more in the studio, it's more like the band directing what they want
Yeah.
than a gig. And you're just shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
A gig is like capturing something that's happening.
Yeah.
right?
Capturing the moment, whereas in studio is like creating the moment.
Yeah. Wow. Poignant.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Right. So, you guys say that you've got an album coming out. How long's that been going on for? Because I see you guys been seemingly working on music for since I met you guys, really. So, how long has the album been in the works now?
Well, the thing is, like, the first year we were focusing on just getting our sounds and just gigging.
Yeah, live performance.
And like
more.
and molding together as a band, getting to know
Yeah,
their playing
to know each
techniques,
other.
their
And the
styles.
songs were like popping up like fairly fast.
Yeah.
And now we're at the stage where we need to start because we got like a bit of a following. We're at the stage where we
Yeah.
need to like start
We've got our sound.
pinning stuff down.
Yeah.
Like, recording
start
wise.
recording it.
Because we haven't got any recordings yet,
No.
which is kind of annoying.
It's kind of been like an ongoing process that we never really sort of started. It's just you know what I mean, when you're writing music,
Yeah,
it sort of happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
it
But
does
a lot
happen.
of the time, like we were just having like fun, weren't we? Like a lot of the year, we were just like just getting stuff wrong and getting stuff right, and then you're just learning, having fun, and now we're like
Hitting the hay.
time to knock.
Well, not hitting the other opposite of that. Hitting the
Time to go up again.
hitting the anvil. Ding, ding.
Great, brilliant. How are you recording it then?
Well, it's been quite difficult actually because we recorded with like without a backing, like a click track,
Yeah.
Mm.
and it meant the whole recording we did was out of time, so we had to start it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we were again just like learning.
We're learning how to record.
I think that was just like a really good demo, and now we know.
Yeah,
I
now
feel
it's
like-
actually put together.
I feel like a few of us as well, it was like the first time in the studio, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find you learn a lot about you. Like, if you like as a guitar player, I find when I first started recording my guitar and started like working these like instrumental tracks, I learned quite a lot about my guitar playing because like when you first record, you realize that your playing is being like put under a microscope basically.
That's so
And,
true.
It's you do learn a lot. So I find that you guys may have found as well that after the first couple times you record, you as a musician become a lot better quite quickly.
Yeah.
Because you
You
hear
don't know
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
This timing. That's the
It
important-
was-
That's
yeah.
it's all about timing. You know. That's like
Yeah.
how tight you are,
yeah.
clarity,
Yeah.
everything.
And then the
like that.
mixing is really important as well.
Yeah.
You want it to sound full, but you don't want it to sound like
Muddy.
yeah.
You want it to sound like have like a good punchy tone, if you know what I mean, but not stand out and mix too much.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
Balancing all the different like elements, like all the different frequencies, not letting them clash together.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
And all that.
it's one
EQing.
thing like EQing and mixing like a bass guitar and a guitar separately, if you know what I mean. But then it's a complete other thing mixing them together into one song and making sure, like you said, they don't clash.
Yeah.
And you get any like horrible frequencies and like whirring sounds or whatever.
Yeah. But it's all
Yeah.
stuff you can just
40
learn.
kilohertz.
Yeah.
You can just study it and learn it and get good at it by practicing it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely. Are you documenting the process of you making the album at all?
You know, I was actually thinking about doing
That's
like a little
writing a journal or something.
That's
or
not a bad
doing
idea.
like a
A video.
mockumentary or something.
That would be cool.
Documentary,
That
something
could be
like
quite-
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoebe, get in there. Get that job. There's a job there. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would That's actually not a bad idea.
That isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you find that the studio time has sort of helped you guys bond as a band?
I haven't spent that much time in the studio.
No, I think
really.
more
Only a
we've
few
bonded
hours.
like through gigging and
Gigs.
For
rehearsing.
gigging, yeah.
It's like after a gig when
It's just like euphoria.
you just like, and everyone's just so happy.
It's a euphoric
Just,
Yeah.
feeling.
I don't
It's
know.
almost like a high
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
the gig.
Mm.
You're just like, you're so,
Especially a good one.
yeah, so full
Yeah.
of adrenaline and stuff like that. I'm sure you can relate as well. Being
Yeah,
a lot-
absolutely. It's something that I do definitely miss. And as you say, I feel like just like you, there was a lot of plans that we all had for the summer. Because I think after our first year, I think we all kind of we all had our own sort of, you know, we sort of built a building blocks. And I think just like you guys, I think I was looking as well to sort of start hammering the anvil down and get something
Yeah.
going, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden everything grinded to a halt, which has made it really difficult. So you guys, I mean, of course you guys all live together, which is probably for the band it makes it easier, to sort of rehearse and keep talking, but how do you keep the band going, and how do you keep like your work going during this time?
Yeah, I think to be fair, momentum kind of went down a lot.
I think like half 50%.
Huh?
50% of being in a band is just being like good mates, and like
Yeah.
if you're not good mates, then
Gotta
you're
have
not.
fun.
Yeah, like
Well.
and because we're like all such good mates, I don't know, we're just like hanging out most of the time. Like,
Yeah, anyway,
it's-
then we just ended up making a song.
Mm,
One of our gigs, we had a gig in April and it got postponed until December
yeah.
next year.
Is that in the Louisiana?
Yeah, Louisiana, Bristol.
Louisiana. Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, that must be really annoying.
Yeah.
That's the second time it's been pushed back now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been pushed back twice, but obviously
Hopefully it'll
coronavirus is
happen.
pretty bad for everyone, especially music.
It is pretty bad. And how have you, Phoebe, been able to keep because I guess with music photography, it's been difficult with no actual music going on at the moment. How have you been able to find ways of keeping your photography business going during this time at all?
Yeah, normally just looking back at photos that I have on my hard drive and like all my SD cards, and then going out shooting again and stuff like that really. But I didn't do much photography during quarantine because we weren't really allowed out, so.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you, since the lockdown has been easing, have you been able to start taking on more jobs again? Or has it still been quite slow?
Or just going out taking photos on like my own time.
So have you been like focusing more on your sort of sporting photography?
Yeah, at the
Like,
moment it's more
yeah.
sport and like sea photography and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I also don't live in Cornwall, I live in London, so
Hard.
it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Hence.
literally
I've
there's
got
literally
it.
no music scene at the moment, except from online.
Yeah, and music online is kind of rough.
It's pretty limited,
Next
isn't it?
switch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
the-
now we're limited to do something.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Live streaming, I mean, I've done it a couple times recently, but as you say, it's quite limited with what you can actually do when there's just you, a guitar, and a phone, really.
Yeah.
And you don't get that same like
The feeling.
emotional
No, 'cause
response.
you don't see people.
from the
You
audience.
just see like 5 people watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't know. It's disheartening when the number keeps going down and you're like, please
Yeah.
love me. But yeah.
Yeah, it's rough to roll down.
Have you been able to find ways of rehearsing as a full band? Because, of course, there's only 3 of you there.
Well, it's really difficult because obviously George, like, you know, he can't really travel very far.
No.
No.
So
And we can't rehearse.
we haven't
drum
seen,
kit.
yeah, we haven't seen George since before.
That's crazy. To be fair, I haven't seen anyone from Falmouth since lockdown.
He's
either,
coming
so-
down to come up as you. So
Yeah. But it's all good. Like we're not at the stage where we need to like be rehearsing. We just need to be writing.
it's fine. It's really much.
And it will make more sense if we write these songs and then when we practice our album.
Yeah, and it'll
We're
be
gonna have to do that anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it'll be easier to get good if we already have the songs written. Then
Yeah.
we'll spend all the rehearsal time
And,
writing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
also if you bring an album into the practice room and then you have to there's like I wouldn't say there's like a set time, but there is sort of like a set time in how long you need to practice before you can like gig and stuff like that, before you can gig that album. And fuck, it's just completely gone out of my head. I'm just reminded. I was getting somewhere then,
But basically, like rehearsing is like the last thing is like we're writing and then we're recording and then it'll be rehearsing the album.
Yeah.
And then it'll be
I-
like
I-
gigs. So we don't need all 5 of us
What-
basically.
Yeah. What I was trying to say was like, when you have that like practice time, it's also like time to refine the songs. It's almost
Yeah.
like that like post-production of like finishing a song, if you get what I mean. The mastering of a song, you're just adding in like these little parts, like
Yeah.
extra little licks, maybe
Yeah.
like some pauses, some drum fills, you know what I mean?
Or
Like an intro,
we'll end
just
up
stuff
playing
like
it
that.
like live, 5 of us, and then we'll realise, oh, this bit isn't working.
Yeah.
Like when it's just
Yeah.
3 of us in my room.
and then we'll change it.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
sound completely changes
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
Oh,
even
yeah.
if you're acting quietly to practicing loud. Like your amp, it's a tube amp, so it's gonna just
So,
sound 10 times better
Yeah.
when it's cranked up a bit.
yeah.
True.
Yeah. Yeah,
His amp goes
absolutely.
well.
So you
Yeah.
guys been writing a lot then? Is that
Yeah.
all going towards the album, or was the album sort of mainly finished before going into quarantine?
No, we had about what 6 or 7 songs maybe.
Yeah. And now we've got like, they're not all completed songs, but there's like solid ideas.
Yeah, we definitely got a solid 10
Like a
songs,
solid
and then
10.
maybe 15.
15 like
ideas.
floating ideas. and
Yeah.
shit, so.
The song's
That's
never
good.
complete.
Yeah.
There's always room for improvement.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm not gonna release anything which we know
That was
is
good.
mediocre and it's not the best.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what is kind of weird though, because I feel like a lot of other bands in our year have just been releasing stuff very, very quickly, and like it can feel a bit like we're falling behind.
Yeah.
But actually, I think you're right. I think it's.
I to be honest, I don't feel like that at all. Like I think
I don't think we
it's
should
just
rush.
different
No,
bands
I'm
have different
agreeing,
ways
I'm
of doing it. And
Yeah, it depends. It depends on what you're doing. And I think different people work in different ways. Like as an example, like if we're talking about other bands in the year, like of course I've been part of a lot of what the Doinks have been doing, and I've learned quite a lot about the different ways that they do it compared to like how I've done it previously. Like working with the guys in the Doinks, working with Billy Tucker, you learn a lot that you can then take into your own work. And as you say, like something like I think we recorded the first EP that they did. I think we recorded that in either 1 or 2 sessions.
Yeah.
Because the aesthetic that Billy and Connor really wanted was that they wanted something that sounded really raw. They wanted to capture that sort of like live sound that they were really proud of. So it was all recorded live basically. And they wanted to get something that recorded live.
Well, for that music, that's perfect. That's like what
Yeah.
and there's not even that much production to it, so it's ready.
Yeah, it's
Especially with a live session.
Yeah, Billy Tucker's live sessions looks really cool. Yeah. We were going to do one of them before lockdown.
Yeah, we've talked. Yeah, this is the second creative chat we've discussed about Billy Tucker. He's becoming a big part of this show. I need to get him on to do one of these, and I will at some point. So if you see him, pester him and say, "Come on the show with me, please."
You should talk to Lawrence Chapman as well.
Yeah.
That'd be very
Lawrence
interesting.
would
He's
be
like
cool. Yeah,
more of our producer.
Yeah.
Not to like
of course.
say that he's ours, but like
Yeah.
you know, we worked with him a lot more, and he's really good.
Really interesting.
That's
guy.
cool. Yeah, that's good.
Got music.
Yeah, I feel like he'd have a very different approach to Billy.
Yeah.
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 Really interesting.
I think that's the great thing. Like, you know, not the different ways of working will work for each different person, if that makes sense. Kind of. So like, what works for you guys won't work for other bands and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Everyone has their own like approach to stuff, like almost their own like formula of writing music. If you get what I mean.
Yeah. I think we have very different approaches to writing music, which is kind of interesting because then you get very different songs. I don't know, that's not really a statement. That's just
Yeah, but I do know what you mean. I think, yeah, I mean, what's one of your favorite kind of ways of writing music, really?
Well, I remember like we were in one of the lyric workshops once, and you were saying that like it was about writing a love song or something, and you were saying that the best love songs are the love songs that relate to the most people or something. Whereas for me, I think a song should be like a love song should be something like personal, right? Like unique. And then through that you would write a different type of love song than me. And none is worse than the other.
I feel like with stuff like that, it's also all about like trying to find a balance between like relatability.
Yeah.
The listener.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna write something about like furries or something.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you are.
And you've also
Unless
got
you are.
because because a song it's like a story. The main aim of it is like you're trying to get a message across, especially with a song like a love song, if you know what I mean. So you're trying to like portray your message, but you also have to have that sort of like relatability with the audience. That's why being like I can't think of the word.
So many times.
Yeah, so many times. Sorry, I'm brain dead.
We're all hungover.
We're quite hungover.
Blimey, fair enough. Yeah, I see. I think the point I was making with the with what I said about like sort of writing love songs and stuff like that is I generally like my lyric writing tends to be quite sort of direct. I don't tend to use a lot. Oh, you all right?
What are you doing?
There's like a light on my face.
Wait. This way, ball.
No.
Oh no, I like that. I like that. Put it back.
It was like stars behind you. It's beautiful.
Yeah, sorry. Carry on.
Yeah. Because I know there's a lot of people that write with that use a lot of metaphors and stuff like that. When they're writing, they'll sort of write in quite a poetic style, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, I've always liked to write lyrics that are very much a little bit more to the point, a little bit more direct.
Yeah,
I don't tend to use a lot of the metaphors. And I find for me anyway, I find that tends to work quite well. And I think if you look at It's Just Us, which was a love song that I wrote, the lyrics for the chorus are very simple, and they kind of came to me as the line of there's no more you or me, it's just us, is the line. Like it to me that it was very simple, very direct, but it got the message that I wanted to give over perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's what I always try and look for, is that one bit which can be literally just one or two lines, but it will get the message over there and then.
Yeah.
I feel like your way of like writing lyrics is quite conversational.
Yeah. I kind of talk it.
It's like you're just like kind of describing like maybe a conversation you have with someone, but it's like
usually
but it fits together like nicely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sometimes I try and like, for example, like right now I'm just going to talk about one of my songs, like take me down the telephone line. That one.
Take me down that telephone line. I got.
So that one's about like that one's about like a long distance relationship, and then I was linking it to like, and then I linked it to something. I get like something that's on my mind, then I link it to something physical.
It's witty, like it's really witty. Like I feel like that's what defines your.
It's kind of funny to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, fun. That's the most important thing. Keeping them a bit fun to listen to.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah. Not sure what that was good. But yeah, usually I try and like. So, for example, that's when I'm linking it to a telephone. It's very, very clever.
And a TV.
Very clever writing. Yeah, because like I linked it into TV as well. Because like, for example, right now it's like we're in like a TV, and when you're in a long distance relationship, you'll be like Skyping each other a lot. So it's kind of like help me out.
What about yourself? Like when you're starting to write a song, what part do you normally start with, if you get what I mean? Do you normally start with like a bass line, a drum track, vocals, or the guitar, and then what do you build off from there?
Generally, it depends on the song, because some songs will start. Most commonly, they tend to start with either a piece of lyric of some sort, or they will start with a piece of guitar work. Really, it's generally what they tend to start on. I'm trying to think. I think I've written one song before, which was started. I wrote like a piece of guitar, and I really liked the piece, but I couldn't really find a way of working into a song. So I decided to, instead of have a guitar part, throw it in as a bass part, and then like put drums to that, and then that kind of built onto the song from there. But generally, most of the time, it tends to be guitar and guitar and vocals. And sometimes I don't know if you found this things where you write certain parts to songs. So you write like a particular riff, a particular vocal line or something like that, but you can't seem to find any way of putting that anywhere in a song.
Yeah, we get that quite
Yeah,
a
we
lot.
do struggle with that. Like we'll often have a chorus,
that we
good chorus,
really like, and then a verse.
and a good verse,
Yeah.
and then they're just clashing kind of. And
sometimes it can be quite good to think about, like, if you've got something in that sort of situation, think of it maybe more pitch based instead of like timbre. So if you have this really cool guitar part, you could just take the melody from the guitar, maybe try it as the vocal melody, or you could create some sort of melodic bass line. And I think sometimes it's really interesting where you have like a blend between, we were talking about this earlier with Red Hot Chili Peppers, in fact, they like blend the melodies together. So if you listen to the guitar and the bass, they work so well together that you can't really hear one melody, but you can, but they're like intertwining between the bass and the guitar, and it just makes really nice flow in the song. It's like interesting just to think about the sort of pitch more when with the notes, if you get what I mean. Then this is a guitar part, has to be on guitar. Like you could even maybe try and do it on drums, if you know what I mean, to like some sort of certain extent.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's just like a different way of thinking about the writing process, if you get what I mean.
Do you tend to do that a lot? Do you find that like Tom will come to you guys with a guitar part and you'll be like, oh, that sounds great, but we want that on the keyboards, or oh, that sounds great, but you know, we'll change the rhythm or something like that?
Massively open, but
we should. Yeah, I think we should start using the two instruments, because at the moment it's like the key, the synthesizer is like the lead part, and then I'll play like the chords basically.
Yeah.
Whereas it'd be interesting to start switching it up a bit, and I think that's what we're starting to do a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of want to experiment a little bit more. So use loads of effects, and I could use my bass as a melodic instrument.
Yeah,
we have some ambient synth sounds, and then because the synth is like an endless instrument, isn't it? You've got the very low end, you've got the very high.
It's got every sound you go.
And I think we actually did that with Marxist Morrissey in the mid-late. They have like the pumping synth line, and originally we were going to have
that was on bass.
Yeah, originally we were going to have that played on bass, but and then instead I like whack on some octaves and stuff, and then I have my own little bass solo.
And you play the synth melody.
Yeah.
On your bass. And it works perfectly.
Well,
so that sounds good.
Yeah, I don't think you may have not heard that tune. We only played it once or twice.
Yeah,
fair enough.
It's a good one.
I may have heard it.
Yeah.
Do you find
Phoebe? Would you do like music videos then? Oh, it's breakdown.
Nice. Cheers, Kirsty.
Sorry, put this
Sorry
people in the
about
house.
Fair enough.
So, like, would you do like what after lockdown? Are you gonna what are you gonna do like videos as well?
Well, for second year we have to do quite a lot of multimedia stuff. So
what does that mean?
Be like music, be like videos.
Oh, nice.
Stuff like that.
Well, then we could collaborate with that.
Do you have much?
We could turn the whole house into a music video.
Multimedia and stuff.
Well, yeah, I used to do double BTEC media at A levels, so I've used Premiere Pro and shit like that.
Have you got it?
Yeah, I've got it.
Oh,
wow.
Have you ever like created a music video before?
I have, but it wasn't the best.
But there's loads. Everyone's here. We can all work together.
Yeah.
You're only gonna get better.
Plus, you have a really nice camera.
Yeah, for sure.
Really? Oh, let's see that.
Is it? How much was it?
It was over £3,000, but I'd like to buy it from brand new.
So brand new.
Yeah.
I think if
don't you have? Is it a 5D Mark III or something like that?
The Canon 5D Mark III.
5D Mark III. Yeah.
The 20mm lens.
What was that? Was that 24 to
70mm?
Is that big?
Is that the Mark? Is that the Mark 1 or the Mark 2?
I have no idea.
Fair
What
enough.
have you always said?
What have I got? It's no. It's not. It's not as much as that. My current camera is an A77 II with a 1650 2.8, and that's currently what I use at the moment.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
I don't think
What type of do you like mostly do?
I saw you started like a couples page, like a couple together.
couples page.
That's cute.
That's what it
That's
is,
really
isn't
cute.
it?
I mean,
That's what
yeah,
it is.
it's basically a couples page, but we wanted to do like, because whenever we went out to like you know, the seaside or wherever, we always tended to take our cameras because we were both photographers, so we decided to put a page together and do something. We did the 30-day photo challenge, and we're not entirely sure at the moment how to continue with that. So
We've done 30 days.
Good job,
yeah,
Alfie.
we've
Just
done
do
that.
it. Turn it into 90 days.
Time to do a sip.
Yeah.
365 days every year.
Oh, but I-
You'd be a bit edgy.
Yeah, photography wise, I mainly started basically doing wildlife photography because I had like a dad who was really into photography, and I basically just sort of went along with him and sort of shadowed him for a bit and to sort of learn. And then it kind of, as it went on, I went more and more into like events and stuff because it tied in nicely with music as well, because it meant
Yeah.
that a lot of
Yeah.
people, you know, if I went and, you know, photographed someone doing a gig, and then I could be like, oh hi, I'm a musician as well, kind of thing. So it kind of helped with our networking side of things. It's not
Net-
pardon.
Networking's very important.
Networking is important.
Oh, we're getting a bit glitchy.
It is. You guys, how have you found networking in sort of, especially during lockdown? I guess all of you guys, have you still been able to like sort of network, talk to people?
Quite good.
We were actually doing pretty well before lockdown. We were about to get a gig with
Might have got.
Margot and the Resner. We were
And
going to get a gig with them.
we had a gig with Long Tonic as well.
Yeah, so we had a gig with quite a lot of the sort of big-ish bands at Farmer.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
Because I don't know
yeah.
how you start talking to them. I don't know. I think Patrick's quite good at talking to bands.
Yeah, we actually got some connections as well. Like Patrick knows the Orioles.
Yeah.
That'll be a dream.
Mm,
Yeah.
That's cool.
That'll be a dream. And then Sophie knows where Jahid. That's the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
It's all
cool.
about, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot of hippie now.
And it's just about being like
Friendly.
yeah.
Gotta be nice guy.
Yeah. Can't be arrogant.
Yeah. No matter how good at music you are, if you're a dick, then you're not gonna get it.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
literally.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
understand. How's like on the photography front, Phoebe? How have you found the whole sort of expanding your like network during lockdown? How's that been? Has it been challenging?
It's been pretty hard because I don't really know. It's mostly posting photos on Instagram and then getting weird follow requests from different people.
Mm.
I have to say yeah.
Yeah.
But then they're like really interested in your work because I've set up a music account and I've got like so many different bands following me, liking my photos.
Really?
and
That's
messaging
cool.
That's
me.
great.
Mm.
Which is cool. But
Wow.
You should say something very good.
Do you
yeah,
do you find a lot of bands approach you, or do you have to approach them?
what through Instagram they approach me, like
Okay.
they follow me and like private message me and stuff like that, things like that. But it sometimes depends. Like if I really like their work that they do, then yeah, I'll ask them. But
Mhm.
other than that, it's normally them. Sometimes.
And would you prefer to photograph bands which you like the music, or does it not matter really about the music?
I don't know.
So for like an example, would you
That's how much money you get.
for an example, would you like do photography for like a metalcore band or like a deathcore band or something like that?
Don't know. It's anything really.
Yeah, I guess you're not listening to the
And
music.
also like
Like,
found
yeah.
versus
more
not a
focusing
huge
on
amount.
photography
on the
than,
angles and all that.
Do you find it easier? Because of course you've come from London, right?
yeah.
London, yeah. So that's quite a big contrast to Falmouth. Have you found it? How have you found it different doing the photography down in Falmouth to doing it in London? Is there been a big difference between the way you sort of like get jobs? Is there more jobs there? Is it, you know, how is that different?
There's probably more jobs in London to do with like music photography,
Mm.
but I don't really like being in like a big city. I'm not like the person that's gonna, I don't know. I prefer being down in Falmouth, to be honest.
It's chilled.
It's more
Yeah.
relaxed. Like, people aren't in your face 24/7.
I find that like
Like London.
yeah, Falmouth is kind of like what's really good about it is it's so small, but there's like the whole like
There's a community, really, isn't there?
yeah,
Yeah.
like you've got the photographers and then you've got producers and you've got
Mhm.
musicians and you've got sound engineers.
Yeah,
And
And
all
everyone-
in one place,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
and it's so easy to get a
and
gig.
everyone wants to collaborate because obviously the photographers like want the band so they can take photographs, and the band from the photographers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really good.
So-
It's like a
Yeah, it's very good being around people
it's like an ecosystem.
with like a passion for it as well.
Yeah, you get a lot more. I find, especially in Falmouth, you do get a lot of people that will that are looking to like help others, because like they know that, like, you know, if you help, you know, if you're in like your first year of uni at Falmouth or something like that, and you just help, like, you know, you photograph bands or you play gigs for a friend or something like that, you know those connections can potentially lead on to bigger things later on. So it's a really welcoming atmosphere I find a lot of people have, especially in Falmouth.
Does your girlfriend do photography? Reece?
She does
Like-
do photography, yes. She does.
You're on the Falmouth.
She was on the Falmouth course. She was on photography, but she graduated, was it 1 or 2 years ago?
Oh right. So
Ah,
she's
she's
20,
older.
She's 22.
23 now.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So she did do
Nice.
BA photography. She now runs. She's now the editor-in-chief of Whisper. If you've heard of them.
That magazine.
The chocolate.
I think I've
Are you on
heard
about
of
the chocolate bar? For some reason, I thought you were on about like. Don't worry,
Oh,
my mind was in another place.
yeah, it's the magazine. They're based. I want to say based in Falmouth, but like there's people who are running it who are like, there's one in Exeter area. There's of course one in Falmouth. There's one up near, I want to say Leeds, I think. Someone who used to go to Falmouth and they moved back to Leeds. They're still working on that. But yeah, it's a cool project. I sort of like helping out with it, but of course I don't like to get involved too much with Whisper, because it's kind of like that's her thing and music's my thing.
Yeah.
So you don't want to like
Yeah, it's good to
intertwine
have
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What about yourself? How do you go about like networking?
Well, before lockdown, it was kind of go to as many people's gigs as possible, really. During lockdown, that's a little bit harder.
No.
It's just like trying to talk to as many people as possible, isn't it?
Yeah, because I mean, you know the amount of times where you get like a group of people or something like that, and they, you know, where you meet someone who's another musician or a friend of yours, and you go like, oh, I've got a gig in a week. Do you want to come? And they're like, yeah, sure, I'll be there. And then you never see them again for another 10 years. Those kind of people. You get a lot of those.
Yeah.
So like I always try to be like, if I said, hey, come to a gig, and someone said, oh yeah, I'll be there, like I would want them to be there. So I always tried to say that, like, if someone was like, oh, come to my gig, and I said, yeah, I'd be there, I'd always try and make the effort to actually go, because it's always easy to just sort of talk to people online, but you remember them so much more when you're able to actually see them in person.
It's personal as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
If you if you say that you're gonna like go to a gig or something like that, and say if it's like a band that you're trying to network with, you're trying to get in with, or like a producer or something like that, and then you don't, then it's just like you've ruined the relationship off the start, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all about, it's kind of, you have to like make an effort, and it's like on both sides as well, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think, as you say, you know, it's both sides really. Like, you kind of, if you want people to like sort of like, you know, share your music, support you, you've got to return that favor first before you can kind of expect it back. I mean, if they love your music, then of course they will, you know, do it anyway. But it's all about sort of creating, when you're sort of at the beginning, you kind of tend to target other musicians because you know that they're into music on sort of a local scale. So you'll you know, a lot of it's about building that relationship up.
I think our biggest like our most successful networking night was when we did like a open mic night.
Oh yeah.
And we actually didn't ask anyone to come because we had a gig on the weekend afterwards, and we didn't really ask anyone to come, but it went down really well. And it was just interesting because usually people who play there are like singer-songwriters, us and the Doinks, we played a gig, and then it was a load of new people came to our next gig.
It's because like people at the open mic were people that wouldn't usually come to the gigs, so it just opened up a new audience. And it's like, it's just sort of basically all the students go to Stanley.
So it's quite a good gigs in places that you wouldn't normally play.
Some really good feedback from that as well.
Yeah, we got,
and also that was a guy who runs the gig asked us to do a gig.
Yeah, we got loads. And then that was the night that Milo bought.
Oh yeah, true.
That's handy. That's kind of the trick, really. It's finding ways, because it's one of the most difficult things I find when you're a local musician, is to get in front of an audience of like just general people in front of, when you're a local band, because most of the people you're playing are either other musicians that go to local gigs, or they're kind of like in that little scene. And the goal and like the trick is to be able to appeal and reach people who are outside of that, just your average person that would listen to music just, you know, on a daily basis, but not consider going to like Jacob's Ladder to see a local gig or something like that. How do you reach those people? And the open mic sounds like the open mic that you did that really well.
Well, exactly. The Doinks did very well as well, actually.
It
was just that contrast from, because the first one before us was acoustic. And we came on with a full band, just about thing on the stage.
Stage dive.
Stage dive.
I remember, I was there for that. I remember that perfectly.
I think I've kind of become stage dive.
No,
I literally do it every gig.
I don't kind of do it.
It's great.
Even when the ceiling's like that high.
I'm scared. No one's gonna catch me.
No one's gonna catch the bassist.
Or my bass is just gonna get snapped.
Jacob's Ladder was literally like,
you were
stuck on the roof. That was the gig that you came in first.
Yeah, that's the first one I should do.
That was a good introduction.
That was at the Killigrew, right?
No, Jacob's Ladder.
Jacob's Ladder. Because a lot of the venues in Falmouth are quite small. Do you find it difficult to work in sort of like an environment where it's like really cramped, or have you sort of found ways of like being able to get into spaces so you can get the shots, that kind of thing? That's you. Yeah, photography. Yeah, okay.
Like the one in Killigrew Inn, it's so dark in there. It's only like these little lights on the walls. I completely forgot to bring a flash on and everything. I had to whack the ISO right up. Grain is a grain as fuck. But it's pretty hard, I guess.
It's proper tiny there.
That's something with some of those venues. I've had that with a couple venues as well. When I've been taking photographs, is that they look really pretty, but for a photography point of view, they're so dull, and all the lights are behind the musicians, so all you just see is silhouettes, and that can make it really difficult to photograph.
Yeah, they actually put new lights in now, Killigrew.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
we went to Killigrew last night,
Yeah.
and we were talking to the
Bev.
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 She's such a nice lady.
Yeah, she's lovely.
And she's saying how she was actually really enjoying lockdown because obviously we broke all the lights and we knocked down one of the paintings.
Yeah.
Not
One of the
purposely,
kids.
not purposely.
Yeah, well, I think it was a drawing club actually.
So she was just having a bit of a break.
She was just having a break, you know, tending the pub,
Yeah.
buying new electrics and stuff.
It's got character, that practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has definitely.
We can only add to the character.
Yeah.
Exactly. £3 a pint as well.
£3 pint.
It's not bad.
That's
Get
better than
yourself.
spoons, I think.
Spoons do too.
Yeah, and it's good. And it's good. Drink.
It's not bad though, is it?
It's better.
Yeah,
better
true.
quality.
Wait, you pay the extra £1 to speak to Bev.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To get Bev
Oh.
from Bev.
Bev is
Just a
great.
general good experience.
That's what I was thinking. Is it a coincidence that she's called Bev and she runs a pub?
If it was meant to be.
Mm.
She's really nice.
Do you guys
Yeah.
do you find you've got like, after doing gigs, you get like really good relationships with certain venues, and do you find that relationship helps you when you're planning shows in the future?
I think.
Yeah. You get to know a venue though, don't you?
Yeah, I think particularly Killigrew.
Yeah.
We're on that one.
What other venues?
Jacob.
The guy, the in between days guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're in with them.
But yeah,
Is that
he's.
at the Fish Factory in Pembroke?
We haven't played there.
Yeah,
yet, actually.
that.
that would be great.
Mhm.
That's honestly the one venue. I've also looked at the Fish Factory and thought I'd love to put a gig on there, but like everyone that I've talked to, everyone that like puts gigs on there, like everyone that I've talked to has just been like non-existent. So it seems quite difficult to get a gig there, but who knows?
Maybe they have to come to you.
I don't know. Maybe it's not really a student place. It's
No.
like a kind of touristy, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Kind of touristy.
think so. Yeah.
But it'd be good to get. I think it'd be good. When can we expect the Reese Heard debut album?
Yeah, man.
You said debut album.
Yeah.
That's probably
I found my tunes down.
Yeah.
that's quite, I don't know really at the moment. I was originally planning on doing like a 5-6 track EP and having it out like May, June sort of time. But the problem was, of course, with the lockdown is we've been unable to finish two of them. We've been unable to get the 2 songs that we needed to record before finishing the EP done, unfortunately. So it has been a struggle to get that, but I had time to say no recorded, like the drums were recorded and then I could do all the guitars on my own time, so that wasn't too much of an issue. It's been on an album, I don't know when I would release an album really. I've mainly been just sort of concentrating on singles and maybe the occasional EP really. I think
Did we talk about the new font?
Yeah. You said that's something you were experimenting with. Really fun.
Like
Yeah.
The
the yellow. So yeah, I wanted to. Well, I think a part of that was I wanted to, when describing my music, I wanted to be like, I wanted to be quite uplifting, quite positive vibe around my music kind of thing. And one of those ones is I wanted to incorporate yellow more because it was like my favorite color, so it felt a little bit more personal and it felt nice and bright and sunshiny and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. B.
Yeah, it was almost by accident really that I when I was playing around with the artwork for Time to Say No, and I just out of nowhere on Photoshop decided to like color the 2 R's on the Reese Heard into yellow, just to see what it looked like, and I was like, oh, I love it. So I was like, I really liked it. So I thought, okay, that looks quite cool. So I decided to do it a little bit more, just to kind of add a little bit more of that in. And then I decided when doing just like text and stuff like that, like I was like, how do I like distribute the yellow so it looks all right? So I decided, I was like, so every yellow letter would be like a letter from my name.
So
like,
the yellow kind of links your name.
That's great.
I was wondering what.
Yeah, how you chose which letters. Yeah, that's
I
cool.
really thought it was
Yeah.
just
Because when I
Yeah.
originally did it, and when I did it on the artwork, it was pretty much just random. Like it was just random yellow, pretty much, basically.
Yeah.
And then I decided, I was like, it looks weird, random. I wanted there to be a little bit more of a structure to it, a reason you could say behind doing it. But it's working.
And will that carry on?
I
Will
think
that
so.
carry on to the next? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I quite like it, and I think.
you can have a different kind of single,
Yeah, that'd be quite cool.
like
Yeah.
maybe a really red, some dark,
For a darker song.
goth-like single.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could work. Yeah. I like it.
We might have to head. You know, we're going to the beach.
That's mad. Oh Christ! I go get a few more. Let's wrap it up. With a little bit. Let's talk. We've talked a lot about music. I want to involve Phoebe a little bit more because I feel like we've talked a lot about music. So, right. So I guess you have quite a good relationship seemingly with Factor 50 as a band. Do you find how have you found that? How has that affected your work really? Have you found it? Do you find it a lot easier to work with bands that you like? I mean, if you like these guys, I don't know if you actually like them or not. I mean, I assume you do.
Yeah,
She
no.
described it earlier as like being high on coffee, but all the time.
Yeah. Did you not see your messages, Risa? Did you not see how much you know on Facebook the messages?
I do remember that. Yeah.
It wasn't even me.
Oh,
Lol.
brilliant.
It was me. I wrote those.
I would never have guessed. Would never have guessed.
The trickster.
Yeah.
The trickster.
Thanks. What was the question?
Yeah, sorry. What was the question?
It was about the relationship between you and the band, and how did that help with? Do you find like when you're a photographer and you've got a good relationship with a band, that band tends to like have you as their photographer, or do you find your work sort of goes between all different bands, whoever's really looking at the time?
Yeah, I guess it's much easier knowing a band that you live with, and then they ask you for like photos and stuff like that.
And we can
recommend you to other bands and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like, I've shot for so many like other bands as well, but for like Factor 50 is way more easier to take photos for because I know them more
Yeah.
than like other bands.
Yeah.
Can we get an F?
An F. That's good. Yeah, I guess it's easier when you know what they want, because I find sometimes it's really difficult. Like if you're a photographer and they basically just say, "Oh, just shoot anything," and you're kind of like, "What do you want? What do you want?" It's difficult. But when you know a band, you know what they like, you know the kind of photographs you like. It's a lot easier to work with that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've shot for this band, like this duo called Skinny Milk before.
Skinny Milk.
That's really
Skinny
good.
Milk.
They're based in Brighton, but they do gigs down here as well. And that I shot for them at what's it called, the Fish Factory in Pembrun. I like school.
Oh man, they're pretty big as well.
Yeah, face paint. Face as well.
Oh, face paint. They're from Cornwall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Cornwall.
pretty big as well, actually.
Shot for them as well, and then, well, obviously Factor 50, the Johns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's mainly.
So you got good connections.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
big connections.
Yeah.
That's great.
How did you get those connections? Was it literally just from word of mouth?
It was from this person called David J. Blanks. He's a music photographer.
He took photos of us. He's
Oh,
the board guy.
yeah, he's really
Yeah.
good.
So he contacts me when he wants me to shoot, like for gigs and stuff like that. But
Do you get paid?
no,
But it's
we're doing something at the moment, and then
Yeah.
see what happens.
yeah, that's what we're doing.
When bands have contacting you, bands you don't know, that's when I guess you can start asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
I know what
Yeah.
you're on about. They were at the gig when
When
Billy's
Billy
like-
got pushed
yeah,
over.
He got pushed
yeah.
like all over my pedals.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had to help him up. That was
I was scared for my pod's life.
that was a quite messy one.
That was a messy gig.
It was a good gig though.
Yeah.
Got some gnarly photos out of it.
Yeah.
That one when we were in special cuddle breakdown on the floor.
Yeah.
And dudes got the photo of it.
Mm.
And we had what was it?
Yeah.
Thomas Boys were in us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant
What
stuff.
I have that I shot Skinny Milk that got quite a lot of like, I don't know, recognition. for
Really?
it.
Really?
That's good. Yeah.
Like lots of likes and stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
and like other person who was at the gig at Killigrew and
Yeah.
was at the back said you're the person that took that photo of this guy, the main person for Skinny Milk. I was like,
Ah.
yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Getting
But-
a bit of fame.
But yeah,
That's nice to get recognition.
That's really cool.
pretty cool.
That's cool. So you guys are heading to the beach very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, I'm down.
Tom's got a fucking Land Rover, man.
9
Oh, really?
seats in the
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
take 9 people, so.
Are you still down? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Weather's good.
I
We
call
can go.
shotgun.
That must be very handy in being in a band with someone who has a
Oh.
Land Rover.
Advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantage is that it's massive, so driving like on the small farmers roads is a nightmare. And parking is a nightmare.
Like the road we live on is so narrow.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but I'm pretty happy with my parking actually.
How is Tom's driving? What would you rate it out of 5?
It's pretty good,
Five.
actually. Yeah.
5
Yeah.
out of 5.
Hey, way better than me.
Definitely.
I guess
Oh.
4.9.
Hey,
Very
we
good.
were
4.9.
Drunk.
Were you a bit drunk?
I wasn't drunk.
Oh, I was really drunk. We
You
went
were
to this
high.
like little beach and there was this guy there, and
Well, Deacon.
well,
Will Deacon.
legendary man. Yeah, he was a
Man,
bit
myth,
dodgy.
legend.
Bit dodgy.
A little bit dodgy, but yeah,
He was a chill guy.
it was a bit of chill if you're a boy, I guess.
That's not true.
But yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, it'd be good to see you when you get back though.
Indeed, yes. Why, thank you. I will be, as I said, I'll be down in September, 1st of September. Yeah, down in Falmouth by the 1st of September. If anyone's watching this, please don't stalk me. Please. Not that you would, but
yeah,
We will.
We're in your house right now.
Yeah.
Do you not recognise where we're
I thought I recognised those paintings.
We got a little like lip.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. Imagine like your monster in your bed. You just got a kitchen down
It's-
there.
it's
It's
just
like a
like-
whole
That
house.
was like a little secret.
Yeah. That'd be sick.
Well, since you guys are in Falmouth right now, one question before we leave: what is your favourite brand of pasty?
Rose.
Oh, we talking about that, yeah.
Ah, no, Oggies. Oggies.
Cookies is good.
Oh,
There's
actually,
coffee in there as well.
have you
Let's
Reece,
move
have you
this.
ever had an Iverdoone's pasty?
I don't think I have. No.
They don't
Because
exist.
it doesn't, it's
It's
fake.
because
No,
someone's
no,
making
no,
it
no.
up.
Trust me, if you ever go to Plymouth, get an Iverdoone's pasty.
And I'm
Oh, I'm quite close to Plymouth. I could do that. I could do that. So we've
pretty
got,
close
we've
to
got
Plymouth.
two. Yeah, I'm like
Yep.
30 miles from Exeter, and about
Pretty close to
35 from Plymouth, something like that.
It's about Exeter's about an hour drive away from where I live.
Ah.
And I go, literally the only reason why I go there is for Manson's guitar. The best guitar shop in heaven, easily.
Yeah, I do. I
Alright.
do like Manson's. I do like Manson's. There's a small little shop in Teignmouth that I did work experience at, which I really liked. Called Teen Music. That might be worth it. Yeah, if you're ever in Teignmouth, passing through or something like that, check out Teen Music. Some good lads.
Nice.
Team.
Where did you get your guitar?
Where did I get my guitar? Most of mine, well, of course, the 2 Harley Bentons I got from Toman, because that's the only place you can actually buy the Harley Bentons from.
Okay.
I've got like a red and tortoiseshell guitar that I think my dad brought home from the charity shop one day, and it was just completely like beaten to a pulp, basically.
That was Strat. Is that Strat? That one.
It is a
That
Strat.
one.
Yeah, I didn't actually bring that to uni, so it's been living here at the moment.
That's what on your videos. It looks nice. It looks really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, when you, of course, the bridge pickup I replaced to be like a Seymour Duncan hot rail, so that particular one has got quite a really nice sound to it.
Yeah.
And the Les Paul that I tend to use when playing with bands like the Doinks and stuff like that, I bought that from, it's not open anymore, but I think it's a place in Plymouth called Vibes Music.
Oh, right. I don't think it is open. I've never even heard of that place, to be fair.
Yeah, like it was
Probably not.
open for a little bit, and then I was like, oh, I bought the guitar from there, and then I was like, oh, it's closed. Whoops.
That sucks.
I don't know why it closed. There used to be a place in Torquay called Hartnell's Guitar Centre, but that closed down as well, unfortunately.
We got PMT in Bristol.
PNT's great.
Yeah.
Love PNT.
They had a freaking what is it? It was like one of those chords with the like you could like
like a
wire
modular
it.
synthesizer.
Yeah, I can't remember.
They
what
got
it's
everything
called.
from those PNT shows.
I remember it. You
That
know,
sounds
have
good.
you heard of Organism?
Super organism, yeah.
It is all the synth that they use.
Nice.
That's awesome.
What's your? Is it a Harley Benton? Yours kind of like PRS lookalike. If you get
Yeah,
one
yeah.
with the birds on the fretboard. Oh, it's such a nice looking guitar.
Thank you.
Ocean blue.
I love the fretboard on like a PRS. The birds moving.
Yeah, I do love that.
Easy
I will
fretboard
get
design.
a PRS. I will get a PRS one day, but I do unfortunately have to wait until I have a little bit more money.
The only thing about PRSs is that they are expensive as fuck.
Yeah, the SE ones aren't too bad, but either way, you're still looking at quite a lot for a guitar. But they are gorgeous, and I do love PRSs.
but-
So
Have you ever considered getting a Chapman guitar?
I have, yes, I do like Chapman's. I do like
They've got-
Chapman's.
They've got another really cool fretboard with the infinity sign in the 12th fret.
Yeah, they are quite cool. I don't know what Chapman I'd get. They used to do like a natural looking one, which literally just have like one pickup and a Floyd Rose in it.
Oh, yeah.
And like I was really interested in getting that, but then I think they discontinued that model.
You're a fan of the Floyd Rose?
Floyd Rose. Well, I've never had one, but I've always like one of the things when I started playing guitar, I was like I absolutely adored like whammy tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like when I was like 10 or below, like the band that I listened to more than anything else was Bon Jovi. Like I loved Bon Jovi, and of course Richie Sambora did a lot of whammy stuff on his guitar, so like I was obsessed with it. So I think it would be cool. I've never had a Floyd Rose, but I would love to have one just to play around with it.
What about a Telecaster? Or like, would you consider getting one of them?
Telecaster, I don't know. I like the
They're
Telecaster,
quite-
but it's kind of like, it's just there's a few guitars that I'd like more than the Telecaster before I'd buy.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You're not really a Fender.
I would that's
Strap.
Stratocaster.
I do love Strats. Strats were before I got into PRS guitars. If you'd asked me before then, I would have said my favorite guitar was the Strat.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of
Such
like
a versatile guitar.
Yeah, it's like a
Mm.
banana, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but you
Same
get
with-
so much stuff.
Same with the
Yeah.
Telly. Telly's are surprisingly versatile. Like Alfie was metaling on a Telly, on his Telly. But to be fair, I'm pretty sure it did have 2 fat humbuckers in it.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Mm.
It
Alfie.
still had the lifted pickup.
Shouts
I'm
out
pretty
to
sure.
Alfie,
Alfie
my
Templeman.
man, Alfie Marshall.
Alfie.
Oh,
Alfie's
best
a nice guy.
Oh no, that's a real musician. Isn't it? Wait, we're all real.
What are you talking about?
What are you on about?
Yeah, yeah, it's all good.
You've just broken Alfie's heart.
No, no.
have you seen him play, Reese?
Not much, no.
Yeah, he's amazing.
It is.
He's really good.
He's incredible.
Oh, fair enough. I'll have to like sit
You-
down one day and just be like, play for me.
Yeah,
Just
and he will.
Literally
He'll-
ask him any song and he'll know it. He'll be able to
Yeah.
play it. I promise.
Yeah.
Ask him any
Any-
song.
Literally, we're not even joking.
Breakdown.
Breakdown.
I was thinking more like I was thinking more like Wrecking Ball by like Miley Cyrus, a couple Madonna
Yeah, you could play
tracks,
Yeah,
a few of those
Yeah,
kind of songs.
my dad was in like he was in a band called Reverend Lemon, which is like kind of a jokey band.
Yeah.
And you can get some good sounding, because he did a rock version of, you know, the Frozen song.
Ah,
Of,
let it
Let It
Let
go.
It
Go.
Go.
Yeah, he did it with his band, and they played like a rock version. And it was actually really good.
Yeah, I can imagine the metal version being quite good.
I'm pretty sure there is one of that one online.
Sounds good.
Metal sounds so weird in the major key.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh. Anyway,
Right.
I will let you go now. Thank you so much for coming on, for all of you. If you guys enjoyed what you heard, Factor 50, you can find them on all social media, and Phoebe Byrne, you can also find her photography on all social media. It will be linked in the description of this video and hopefully on the screen somewhere as well, probably next to Edison's foot.
It's not my foot. Just put it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us, Reese.
You're welcome.
Be
It's
nice.
been nice.
Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. Cheers for having us on.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was hopefully see you guys in September. And
Yeah.
please come to our gigs and support our music/photography
Mm.
Yeah, man.
to everyone.
And check out Return. He's got tunes.
Yeah.
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 Time to Say No. I think is your best one so far.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was one that I've had for like a year now, and I was like, I can't release this without it sounding good. And then I spent like 4 months tweaking it, and I was like, right, I think it sounds good now. So I was really happy with that with that release. So thank you very much.
Good.
All right, I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
let you leave you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.